It's time for Bringing the Heat with Bryan Nolen.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is another edition of Bringing the Heat with Bryan Nolen. Yours truly here on the week of June the 19th, 2024. We got a great program on tap for you. My man, Michael Massie, is going to be joining me, and we're going to also be playing an interview that he conducted this past weekend in Iowa with the Iowa man himself, Mr. Brett Moffitt. So without further ado, let's dive on into that interview.
Now it's time for...
He takes a look to the outside. Ben Rhodes takes a look to the inside. He hangs on, continues to push. Brett Moffitt. Brett Moffitt with the win at Talladega.
To go into the Inferno with Bryan.
What's up, everybody? Michael Massie here with Front Stretch. I'm joined in the media center here at Iowa Speedway by Iowa native Brett Moffitt. Brett, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's great to be back here at the Iowa Speedway and, be in my home state, close to my hometown, and ready to go racing.
Yeah, so you're racing for Joe Gibbs Racing, number 19 car this weekend. How did that deal come about? And to do it at your home track, too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it came about, we kind of sat down with our sponsors at the beginning of the year and asked them what they wanted to do and what they wanted to be a part of, whether they wanted to do more races with less quality or less races with more quality. And ultimately, we decided on the quality choice. So we started there, and then we started to figure out a game plan of where the openings are going to be and what will be the best opportunity. And thankfully, this opportunity with JGR opened up. And, it should be undoubtedly my best effort or best equipment I've ever had in the Xfinity Series, and hopefully we can go out there and run up front and have a shot at a win.
Quality over quantity guy here. Now, have you been watching the 19 cars so far this year? It's been really fast, but had a lot of bad luck, it seems like. So how do you reverse that luck?
Well, we just need to go have a clean day. We need to be there at the end to have a shot at winning. Obviously, there's a big question mark with the repave and how that's going to race. So it'll be you got to go into it with an open mind and be willing to learn and search around throughout the race. And one big help was Ty Gibbs qualifying second last week. That gives us a really good pit selection, which is huge. So we just got to go execute.
And you've won here in trucks, you won here in ARCA, and what was K&N then, I guess. What do you consider this your best track, like in all of NASCAR?
Well, I always joke around. It's now the best one they put back on the schedule. It seems like a lot of tracks that I win at multiple times. Chicagoland was the same way, won 2 truck races in a row there, and then they take it off the schedule. So I'm glad to see it come back on. I've always ran really good here, and I have a lot of extra motivation from the fans and family when I come here, so that's a big plus.
Now, we didn't see it on the NASCAR schedule for a couple of years, Iowa Speedway. Did you think, like, the ship had sailed on NASCAR?
For sure. I told my friends, I was like, we ain't ever coming back. And luckily with the schedule switch up over the last year, Iowa Speedway went to the top, and we're back here. So now even with the Cup race.
You're doing a couple races for TRICON this year. Ran a couple already. What's your first impression of that team, compared to other truck teams you've been with?
Yeah, I mean, they're top of the class for sure from top to bottom. To be able to run 5 trucks that competitively week in and week out is a major undertaking. So the job that the Gillens and Toyota and the Grays have done to build that and be able to be repeatable is really incredible. So it's been a great experience all along, and hopefully we could do some more with them.
It seemed that the rumors at the end of last year, it sounded like AM Racing was going to go to a second car, you and Deegan. Obviously, that didn't work out. What didn't work out there?
It's financial, right? It's a big undertaking to take on running a second car, and they just didn't feel like they were in a good enough position to do that. So ultimately, both sides were optimistic, and it just didn't work out.
The average running position for that car, or average finishing position for that car, is 9 spots worse this year. Like, does that validate you at all? Like your skill behind the wheel?
Well, you got to look. I have a lot more experience than her in the Xfinity Series. I've been doing it for quite a while, and I've worked a lot with A-level teams, and I've worked a lot with newer teams that are trying to become an A-level team. So I kind of understand the undertaking and what I need to focus on. So it validates my experience and my ability to drive a race car, but a lot more than that goes into it.
Now, when you won the Cup Rookie of the Year, Front Row Motorsports, night and day from what they are today. You come back, you win that truck race for them last year. Back then, 2015, did you ever think like they had the possibility to become like one of these mega teams that it seems like they're turning into?
No, for sure. No. Bob Jenkins and Jerry Freeze have done an outstanding job, building the truck program to be a championship contender every year, and then building the Cup program to now be qualifying up front and then continuing to race up front and race for wins. That's the hard part, right? Like anyone can hit it for one lap, but the fact that they're legitimate contenders week in and week out is pretty cool to see. Last year at Talladega, I actually told Bob that. I said, that is really impressive what you've done. And, it seemed like a long time, but at the pace he's grown it, he's done it how he's comfortable, and he's moved the program forward. And obviously now there's some rumors of them taking another big step forward. So it'll be cool to see.
And last one for you. This is my first time in the state of Iowa ever. So, as an Iowa native, you got any recommendations for like fun or food or anything like that?
Well, I will say the city of Des Moines has really grown up since I've lived here. That's for sure. There's a lot more good nighttime establishments where you can get a nice, refreshing drink. Go have a good time down by the river. And my one thing I got to say to everyone is you got to go to Tasty Tacos. You got to try it out.
Tasty Tacos. Mark, cameraman there, we got to try some Tasty Tacos, right? All right, well, so that's Brett Moffitt. Look for him in the number 19 car this weekend and the TRICON Motorsports truck as well this year.
Once again, that was Brett Moffitt via our Michael Massie. Moffitt ended up in the 18th position in Iowa last Saturday, in which Sam Mayer won his second race of the season. Trey, let's dive on into what is still hot and wrap up the latest news and notes of this past week.
What's still hot? It's time to upgrade you on the latest news in NASCAR.
All righty, I'm bringing in my co-host. I call him Diva Boy, as he likes to be called, at M_Massie22, coming back from Iowa. Mr. Michael Massie, how are you, pal?
Diva Boy. You're the Diva Boy.
I didn't do anything.
I was ready to go, and you're like, I gotta eat my dinner first.
Well, I had to.
Folks, you won't like Bryan when he misses a meal. He gets extra cranky. I witnessed the firsthand in the Las Vegas Motor Speedway Media Center this year.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I get hangry sometimes, or as Trey gets told by me, normal. I like to lash out at Trey, but it's okay. Still kind of tolerate him. Anyway, I do like Mr. Michael Massie. I'm glad you made it back from Iowa safely. Really fast, so your thoughts on Iowa Speedway and just what was that like really fast?
Oh, A++. I'd never even been in the state of Iowa before. Well, actually, I went a couple years ago when I went to your wedding, because you live in Iowa, right?
No, good try. Good try. Let's see. But Trey needs to learn some grammar. You need to learn some geography. I need to learn to become a better person. Boy, Tom Bulls, you got some real winners here at Front Stretch.
Don't think Tom doesn't have any room for improvement. we know it's shortfall. Iowa was great. I was really impressed by the track and the atmosphere. The fans there were rowdy. They were loving themselves. Some racing. I got to go there. Got to go to Knoxville. Both tracks were just super cool. The area around the speedway, I thought I grew up in the sticks. It made where I grew up look like a metropolis. It was like we're about 40. Our hotel was about 40 minutes away. There was like 75% gravel roads to get to and from the track. So I thought the rental car was gonna have it. We were gonna get stranded there, but no, I was really impressed with the racing. I think there was a lot of negativity entering the weekend when people saw the pictures of the repave, the like halfway done repave, but it actually raced really well, and you had several lanes you could use. And I am a huge proponent now for Iowa. Like, this track needs to be on the schedule for 2025 and many years to come.
Let's dive on into some news and some notes. Justin Haley, he's been rumored to be going to several different teams, according to Door Bumper Clear, the podcast by the Spotters, Freddie Kraft, TJ Majors, and Brett Griffith. He's been rumored maybe even a 2311 car, the Wood Brothers car, but he said that he is committed to Rick Ware Racing for the future. He said that we are fully committed. I think we're running too good right now to, really veer too far off the path of anything. Without Rick, I wouldn't even be in the Cup Series right now. That is according to NASCAR.com's Allie McNair. Do you believe this? Is this just a smokescreen? Where do you fall in this?
Well, over the years, we've been covering NASCAR for a couple of years now, and there's been a lot of times where a driver says, I'm coming back to this team. Everything's all good. We're working on a contract, whatever. And it ends up, they're just lying. They're just lying to your face. Do I think Justin Haley's lying? I don't know. It could be that he has a contract with Rick Ware where he has to run there next year. There has to be some kind of buyout or something like Tyler Reddick with RCR when he was trying to go to 2311. So maybe he will be back there just because he has a contract. But I mean, if you just put yourself in Justin Haley's shoes, would you rather stay at Rick Ware Racing, or would you go to like Wood Brothers, who's getting support from Team Penske, or or 2311, or one of these major teams? Which, hey, maybe Rick Ware gets there. I mean, I never thought they'd get to where they are now. But in this year alone, that car's turned from like a 35th place car to it's top 15. The guy is running top 15 like every week now. So maybe he can build. If he does stay, then it's because he truly believes he can build this program up to be one of those caliber teams that are trying to lure him away. So I don't know. It's still wild out there, but it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up going somewhere else.
Another bit of some silly season news. Frankie Muniz, we've seen him run in the Xfinity Series. We've seen him run the ARCA Series. Well, now he's going Truck Series racing. Josh Rayome is also going to be running at the ARCA race at Michigan. Your thoughts on this news? A little bit silly season-esque, but silly season actually happening upcoming. And then I think the bigger question is, Massie, is what is it going to take for him to get a competitive ride? Obviously, he still wants to stay in the sport, but I mean, he's not going to be contending for wins with this type of equipment, if we're just being frank.
Yeah, it's too bad. These, Rain brothers. I mean, God bless them. They try. They try their hardest, but let's be real. They just don't have the budget that some of the other truck teams like a Tricon or a Thor Sport have. So yeah, you just he'll be, if he can get a top 20 when he's in those trucks, I think that'd be a great day. But yeah, Frankie, I'm glad he's got something. I'm glad he's at least still coming to the racetrack, still trying to make it happen, because he could have tried it, and when things didn't work out for like a full-time ride this year, he could have said, oh well, I'm going back to Hollywood. So I appreciate him sticking it out. The thing it's going to take, obviously, what's it take for anyone to make it in racing? Some moolah, some
dollar bills, y'all. Dollar bills.
Yeah. So I wish that Ford would step up their support of him. And with Stewart Haas Racing going away, the Ford's going to have a little extra money in their pocket to where they could dish some out. I mean, they could just put a little bit of that money behind Frankie and help him get a full-time ride. But yeah, I'd love to see like some more companies try, besides just Ford, back him. You think, like, I don't know, why can't he hit up some of his Hollywood connections, like get some of the movie producers or something, put their movies on his car or something. Our boy Adam Cheek would lose his mind if he had Frankie Muniz as an actor driving movie paint schemes. But yeah, it's just too bad that I don't know. I don't see him getting the support to get a top tier ride, but maybe he'll build up to that.
Let's dive on into our soundbite of the week.
Well, Tony, what angered you at the end of the race? What did you take issue with?
What the hell do you think I was mad about? Dumb little runs us clear down to the infield. He wants to about everybody else, and he's the one that drives like a little. I'm gonna bust his ass.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
And short track races.
It's time for the Soundbites of the week.
Yeah, I just had the wind knocked out of me. My crotch belt tugged pretty hard, so I'll have Tara look at that later, make sure it's okay, and then we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Hey, my man. Yes, sirree, Bob. He's got to check his nutter butters, and what better person to check it than my wife, his wife, not my wife, but his wife. Even in a unfortunate end to his day, he's still a funny guy, you know.
Yeah, AJ, I appreciate that even in a bad race in what's been a terrible season over there at Colleague Racing, he still had his sense of humor to give that comeback. I was standing there as I took that video, and in the moment, this race car was going around. I couldn't hear a word he was saying. I just saw Bob Pocker start laughing. I'm like, what's going on? Then you hear the audio later when luckily the microphone picked it up. And I listened to it later. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, man, I can't believe he said that. I will say the next day when he crashed out, he had another flat tire the next day. Not as good of a mood. No jokes that time. So yeah, tough weekend for AJ Allmendinger and Colleague Racing as a whole. They tore up a lot of race cars in Iowa Speedway. I'm sure that I'm saying I want that track to come back next year. Maybe they feel differently.
Yeah, I mean, SVG tore up 2, Allmendinger tore up 2, Hemrick got into the wall in the Cup race.
The only good part was Daniel Dye. He got a top 10.
Yeah. And then Josh Williams was just invisible. So
yeah,
they're glad that they're heading to New Hampshire this weekend. That is for sure. Trey, let's dive on into some final thoughts and wrap it up.
It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line. No caution. They're side by side, right to the line. Big crash. Here they come. Checkered flag.
The checkered flag is out, and it's time for the final thoughts.
Our final thoughts are in the air. Whatever you want to rant, rave, or anything in between. Mr. Michael Massie, Diva Boy, the floor is yours.
So the thing I'd like to hit on is what is up with Kyle Busch. It just seems like every week, they've actually, the beginning of the year, I think they had a lot of struggles, a lot of, like not great pace. But recently they've had top 10 pace, and it's like something happens to them every single week. And yeah, it's just at this rate, he's gonna miss the playoffs, and his winning streak is gonna be over. So, and a big rumor that was popping up was that he could return to Joe Gibbs Racing, and that has been squashed because he said in his media availability on this past weekend that he's locked in. He can't even, the way his contract is, he can't even talk to Joe Gibbs Racing right now. So you'll see him back at Childress next year, sounds like. But man, if they keep going down this road, I feel like the marriage of Kyle Busch and Richard Childress might be a short-lived one.
I watched a show in the summer. It's called Big Brother, and their motto is expect the unexpected. And that is what we should expect during this year's silly season. Expect the unexpected. Sure, we kind of expected Martin Truex Jr. to retire, but did anyone expect Chase Briscoe to be the favorite? No. So expect the unexpected. There could be other retirements coming up. There could be more openings coming up that we did not even realize. There could be drivers going from the trucks to the Cup, from Xfinity to Cup, from Cup maybe down to Xfinity. expect the unexpected. There's going to be comers, there's going to be goers. There's a 4-car team leaving, for the love of God. Where's everybody else going to go? So when thinking about the rest of this year, leading up to the offseason, take the Big Brother motto of expect the unexpected. And you know what we do? Expect the unexpected. We all know what is expected from Mr. Michael James Massie Jr. III, and that is absolutely excellence every time he is on a podcast. And guess what? Once again, he brought it. Mr. Michael Massie, it's always a pleasure. What are you going to be cooking up on frontstretch.com? And then plug your socials, my friend.
You can listen to my beautiful voice on the Happy Hour podcast, which comes right before this podcast. It came out Tuesday night. So if you look for it on the website, frontstretch.com, you might have to do a little digging to get to it, or you can find it on YouTube if you're watching this here. But the other thing I'm working on, Fire on Fridays. I'll be writing that this week. I'm not sure what I'll be writing about yet, as the week is still young. And you can follow me at M_Massie22 on the socials. Yeah, keep up with me. It will be a little bit. I'm gonna be doing some cars tour races, late model races, things like that over the summer. Won't be back on the NASCAR beat covering race till Richmond. But yeah, follow our cars tour and late model content, because we got some good stuff cooking over there.
Oh yeah, baby. I love it. I love it. At M_Massie22 at the Bryan Nolen. Yeah, I'll plug your socials. Trey Lyle VT at Trey Lyle VT. Once again, big thanks to everybody who supports the program. Through the Gears, our betting podcast. My man Tino's got all the latest betting odds for Loudon. That's coming up on Friday. And then Stock Car Scoop every Sunday. You won't hear my voice on there. Tom Bowles, you will not hear my voice on there. It's crazy how he thinks he hears my voice on a podcast that I'm not even on. So Bowlesy, apparently we got to be better, Bowlesy. Let's be better, brother. But big thanks to everybody who supports the program. For Trey Lyle, who puts up with all my ridiculousness. Michael Massie, I am Brian Timothy, Dale Nolen. Thank you so much for joining. We'll talk to you next week. Recap. Out.
What's up? Michael Massie here, frontstretch.com. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.